any angle in any quadrant. So, for example here, this question here says, solve the equation the sine of theta equals 0.25, negative 0.25, where theta is between 180 and 270. 180 and 270, what does that mean? Let's take a look here. Well, I know in my quadrants, this is 0 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 180 degrees, this is 270 degrees. So that means that this angle that I'm looking for has to fall in quadrant 3 down here, between 180 and 270. Well, let's go ahead and use our steps here. First step, find theta using your calculator. So to find theta, I'm going to take the sine, the inverse sine actually, of negative 0.25. The inverse sine of negative 0.25. So let's check it here. Use my calculator. I'm going to put in negative 0.25. Second sine, and make sure I did that right. 0.25 negative second sine. I get like negative 14.47. And that is our reference angle. That is our reference angle. We always said reference angles are positive. So I'm just going to round this to like 14.5 degrees. Okay, that's my reference angle right there. So the reference angle, theta primed, is about 14.5. So now what I need to do is I need to figure out how does that go into quadrant 3. Well, if I look at quadrant 3 here, quadrant 3 would have to land like this, and we said the reference angle would be this angle right inside there. Well, how would I find that reference angle? Before we were finding reference angles, subtracting 180, now we're looking for the big angle, so we're kind of doing the opposite. So to find that, I'm going to have the regular angle, I'm going to have to take 180 plus 14.5. 180 plus 14.5 is 194.5. So 194.5 degrees is the angle I am looking for. And if I go ahead and put in 194.5 sine, I'm going to get negative 0.25038 because we rounded, but that is the correct answer. So to find the big angle, I take 180 plus it because I'm bigger than 180. I'm between 180 and 270. So this is kind of the opposite of what we did yesterday, finding reference angles. Okay, now we're finding the big angles. Let's do a couple more examples in case we're not quite getting that. But first, how do I know what to add or what to subtract? Well, again, 0, 90, 180, and 270. If it's in quadrant 2, I'm going to have to take 180 minus the reference angle because it's going to be smaller than 180. If it's in quadrant 3, I'm going to have to take 180 plus the reference angle because it's bigger than 180. If it's in quadrant 4, I'm going to have to go ahead and take 360 minus the reference angle. Okay? Quadrant 2, 180 minus theta primed. Quadrant 3, 180 plus. Quadrant 4, 360 minus. That will find the big angles. Okay, that will find the big angles. Let's you write that down. Alright, so let's do a couple examples here. Solve the equation sine of 30, negative 0.35, where 180 is less than theta, which is less than 270. That means quadrant 3. That means I'm going to take 180 plus theta primed. That's what that's telling me right there. So, first thing I need to do, find the reference angle. So in my calculator, I'm going to put in 0.35 second sine, and it gives me about 20.5 degrees. 20.5 degrees. So then I just take my 180 plus 20.5 and I get 200.5 degrees. I knew it was in quadrant 3 because they told me between 180 and 270. So my answer's got to be between there. Let's double check that. 200.5 and go ahead and take the sine of it. I get about negative 0.35. Rounds a little bit, but that is correct. Okay. Let's jump down to the third example. Solve the equation cosine equals negative 0.35, where we're between 270 and 360. So that means we're in quadrant 4. So what do we do in quadrant 4? We took 360 minus the reference angle. Alright, so first thing I do, find the reference angle. Put in negative 0.35. Second, cosine this time, I get 110.5 degrees. So my reference angle is 110.5. I'm going to take, to find theta, my actual angle, 360 minus 110.5. And I get 249.5. Oops, 249.5 degrees. And that's my answer. Okay, go ahead and see if you can do the other two. Solve the equation. Tangent is negative 0.35 between 180 and 270. And then the last one, sine is 0.8, where it's between 90 and 180. So pause, go ahead and see if you can do those two on your own. Okay, hopefully you're back now. Maybe you did that with a partner. So this first one, this is solve the equation tangent theta of negative 0.35 between 180 and 270. Again, that's in quadrant 3, so we're going to take 180 plus. I need to find theta prime, so I put in 0.35 negative into my calculator. Second, tangent, and I get about 19.3 degrees. 19.3. So I take 180 plus 19.3, and I get 199.3 degrees as my answer. And I could always check that by just going ahead and hitting the tangent button. Yep, it's about negative 0.35. Very good there. Let's try the last one. Sine of theta is 0.8, so theta reference angle here is 0.8. Second sine, I get about 53 degrees. Theta is between 90 and 180, so I need to, that's in quadrant 2. Take 180 minus 53. 180 minus 53 is 127 degrees. So we're able to find any angle based on the trig function. Okay, sometimes you can use your reference angles, sometimes they just give you the decimal and you use your calculator. And that is the rest of the lesson there. Your assignment is page 795, numbers 5 through 17 and 26 through 31. Little dog math for you. If I have 3 bones and Mr. Jones takes away 2, how many fingers will he have left? Have a good one. Have a great spring break. We'll see you when you get back. Sorry I had to miss the last 2 days, but hope it worked out well, and enjoy that spring break. Stay out of trouble.